Welcome to the Sparky Coach podcast. This platform was built by Sparkies for Sparkies. We simply exist to make business owners more profitable, or businesses more profitable and more predictable. So we want to work with people that work hard because we love working hard too, that work smart because you got to be on top of the business, people that are kind because no one likes a dickhead. Am I right? People who want results because that's what we're here for, right? And people who want to be part of a like-minded community. So if you're interested in hearing more about the platform, please reach out and enjoy the podcast.
Sparky Coach podcast. We've got a lounge session occurring here. Got a guest today on the pod. We've got Adam Bushell from AB Electrical in Sydney. Bushy, welcome along, mate. Thanks for joining me.
Frothing, mate. I love your podcast. I've learned so much.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for jumping on board. So
I'm hoping I'd get to hear the no one likes a dickhead part.
It might come out. You never know. But it is true, 100% true that no one likes a dickhead. And if no one is a dickhead, you are probably the dickhead. So that's probably where the situation lies. So, Bushy, interested to dive a little bit deeper into your story because exciting things are happening with AB Electrical, obviously, currently, but then also there's been quite a journey so far, and then obviously where you've gotten to now, and then obviously what you're looking forward to in the future. So hopefully we can get a bit of an insight into how it all got going and where you got to now and then what lies ahead in the future. But I want to wind it back a little bit first and foremost. And how did you get in the industry and when did you start into it, and give us a bit of a background into your, I guess, apprenticeship days, so to speak.
Yeah, sweet. I finished school in 2004 and I certainly wasn't very academic as a kid at all. Did not want to be in a classroom ever again. Probably didn't want to do much, to be honest, at the end of year 12. I probably had some ideas to do some traveling or something with, no money in the bank. But honestly, it was my parents pushing me to get into an apprenticeship. And I'm so grateful now, to be honest. I love the trade, man. And but yeah, I wasn't like jumping out of my skin to become a Sparky or anything like that. But, still living at home, parents are like, you got to do something. Electrical seemed like the best and most interesting trade to me, and quite involved as well. So that's the one I chose. And probably about 3 years in, I kind of started to find my feet and really started to love it.
Did you do your time with the same person, or like sort of how did you find the apprenticeship yourself? Were you through a group training organisation? Sort of how did that evolve?
Friend of a friend of a friend's company.
Yeah.
So he was a one-man band at the time. So it was just me and him, which I think is like a really good apprenticeship. Like you have a lot of one-on-one time with not only a business owner, but a really good Sparky as well. So I feel like I got to kind of see the ins and outs of it instead of just being on like a big construction site. So it was just like, it's primarily just service and maintenance, resi stuff, and then some small projects and things as well. But yeah, it was good. And he's since kind of grown to be one of our sort of main competitors now, I guess. We're about the same size now. So
yeah, that's nice.
But I stuck with the same guy for the 4 years.
Yeah, so you got your time done, did it with them, obviously. Did anyone else come along in that time, or was it just you and the business owner the whole time? You were just like the tradie owner and you as the apprentice, or did some other guys come on board?
He tried a few times unsuccessfully, just guys didn't work out. We had a couple of subbies on board, but it's mainly me and him, and then a couple of guys that didn't work out for various reasons.
Yeah, so you're cruising around a lot. Did you have a van or a ute? What sort of was the situation? What was the setup?
Yeah, just an old sort of, what was it? Not an iLoad, old Kia van, just me and him.
So good.
Smoking ciggies all day in the car and just cruising around doing bits and pieces. But
yeah,
he was a really good Sparky as well. So I learned a ton from him.
Yeah. I think it's underrated, the one-on-one time, an apprentice and a tradie. And in this particular instance, it was a business owner, but it doesn't always have to be the business owner. Just the the time spent in the van with going
Yeah.
from job to job or traveling to the job, depending on whether you're doing a project or not, it's not really that big of a deal, because you might be driving half an hour into the job in the city, so to speak, and then half hour back home in the afternoon, or you could be doing the rounds. Me personally, I spent the majority of my time with one tradie in particular. There was only really ever maximum of four of us at the time in the business that I did my apprenticeship in, and honestly, some of the best times ever. Like it was fun. Is the
100%.
word I can remember.
Yeah, I remember like I reckon the first year, because I was like fresh out of school, that I didn't really value that time in the car with him. I just nap like through my jobs. I just didn't have the stamina, man, at all. So I just like nap in the car between jobs. But then like year 2 and 3, I started to actually like just understand the trade, and then that's when I could start to sort of pick his brain a lot and really kind of get some more knowledge into my head, I guess.
Yeah,
So
ask the questions, think ahead, plan ahead, do the job cards, like just get a bit more involved.
yeah.
That's awesome. So did you hang with him for a bit after you finished, or did you go seek other experiences?
Yeah, I subbed to him
Yeah.
for like maybe 6 months, and then we started to butt heads a bit. So it was probably like it was just a bit too long together, like nearly 5 years. And I think we had a little blow up on site together, and then I think that was the end of it. But I still see him around now, but it was just too long with one person, I reckon.
Yeah, yeah. It was like the relationship had run its course, and obviously you were qualified, so you had your thoughts. And I think
Yeah.
too, no matter which way you look at it, I think if you're someone's apprentice, subconsciously you're their apprentice forever in a way.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Uh,
I was still happy for sure when I finished.
Yeah, so whether you mean to or not, and I think this is a thought process that you can take on even as a tradie these days, is that if you have had an apprentice under your wings for a long period of time and they do become a tradie, is that if you can, obviously like make a conscious effort to change the way that you're communicating with them a lot, because I think subconsciously we treat them as an apprentice always,
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
which causes obviously some of the probably just came to a point where you butted heads a little bit. So
Yeah,
so you were subbing out to him for a bit, and then was that sort of immediate? Did you sort of
yeah,
pretty much-
yeah. I had like an old V8 Commodore Ute, and I just had a 6-footer in the back and basic hand tools, and
that is please tell me it was like lowered and then like it was just
no, I
awesome.
don't want to talk about it. It's embarrassing, eh? But it was, yeah, it was like,
It carried a ladder, some hand tools, and 2 drums of cable.
yeah, it was not fit to be a Sparky, that's for sure. But classic 21-year-old, you know?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
That's all. Did it have a like a hard lid tonneau that sort of you
yeah,
could lock? Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome. I'm
yeah.
picturing the sort of that sort of 2010s era, sort of the Commodore Ute, where it was.
That was one of them, man.
So,
The customer could hear me coming from 3 blocks away.
yeah, so you couldn't do too many early jobs.
Pretty shit look, really, but you know, whatever.
It is what it is.
Mm.
I'm assuming that didn't get sign written, just because they knew where you were coming
No,
from. That's
no.
awesome. So then the subby part, probably a bit of a natural progression, and then was having your own business or starting your own business always on the cards, or did something in particularly motivate you towards it?
Not at all, man. Like I did a stint in solar
Yeah.
with like big commercial solar, which I really liked. I really enjoyed it. I think because it was a really good team and we all got along. And then they started sending us to like Broken Hill and like all over the place. And that's kind of the reason I left there. And then I had a series of pretty shitty jobs, like companies that just had sort of no culture, really basic work, like a lot of driving to back and forth. And I think my ADHD brain was just like, I'm just always looking for novelty. So I'd do a job like 3 months in, I'm like, I'm over this, look for the next job, find something else. I just had a bad run of, not that they were bad companies, but there was no like the solar company had a really good team environment, and it was a good vibe on site. That was great. And then just, I think I had like 4 or 5 other jobs where there was like heaps of driving around and just like talking to no one. And after like job 5, I was like, God, I just need like a challenge. Hey, it like wasn't even about money or time or anything. Like I just needed something new to do. And
Yeah.
that's when I thought I'll just give this a crack. And like worst case, I'll just get another job. You know?
Worse, yeah. So it sort of wasn't filling your cup in I guess in a
100%, man. Yeah. And I think if I worked at a company that had like a really good culture, I'd probably still be there, to be honest, because I was never
yeah.
that motivated by money or having heaps of time off or anything like that. But I
Yeah.
just like a good vibe at work and good people.
Yeah, look, it's sort of make it enjoyable, work's work, and
Yeah.
let's get it good work as well. Obviously, like you don't want to be doing the average stuff, but a bit
Oh,
challenging and
man.
using your brain.
I was bloody driving around like rural New South Wales in like a beat up, those Mitsubishi Express,
Yeah,
the boxy things in one of
the
those
old
things,
yeah the old school one. Yeah,
doing like thermal imaging at like NAB banks around the state.
yeah,
Like to the point where like I'd fill up the van and like hope I get to the next bank because it was so far away.
We're not sure what's in between.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like on like bloody, it was like just desert either side of me in this little van. So
Yeah, wow.
that was one of the pretty shitty jobs I had. But
Yes. So it's the
I guess it's
needless to.
taught me like what it's one like upside of all that is it's taught me what not to do as a business owner. Like,
Yeah.
as in you got to build that culture, I guess, and otherwise guys won't stick around.
Yeah, and so did you find the when you talk about the team culture side of things, did you just find it a bit isolating doing a lot of the work? Like you were sort of just,
Yeah.
even though you were on your own, it's like you were quite literally on your own because there's a difference between, so you can go and do jobs by yourself and work
Yeah.
out and get things done, but you can still be part of a team, but you just felt really isolated by it all.
Super isolated, man. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's good. Like, at least at AB, we have like a WhatsApp group. So if everyone's off doing their own jobs, everyone's still like chatting, like communicating throughout the day, helping each other out, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So there's still conversation. Hey, so
Yeah.
you've made the decision. I'm assuming we've traded in the V8 Commodore and we've gone for something a little bit more suitable to the job.
A little bit more suitable. Yeah.
A little bit more suitable.
Yeah.
I like that. Play a Holden Crewman, just so you had 4 doors on the car.
I was like a jacked up Nissan Patrol,
That's
which
awesome.
which was like if it rained, like
Yeah.
it was so heavy, I'd just slide like 5 minutes. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was another ridiculous
Sliding
car.
on in.
So
Yeah,
stupid.
that's
But yeah, I had to get rid of that because I literally ran up the ass of someone when it was raining, slid
Yeah.
like 10 meters, and anyway, it's just dumb shit when you're a young person,
when you're younger.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But then
So
after that, I got like a decent work car.
yeah, got into like an actual. Hey, I'm gonna be semi-professional now.
I'm gonna have shelving in this car.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
not just like boxes with boxes and
Yeah.
on a crate with a milk crate mixed in with.
Yeah.
Hey, I found this timber bucket. I found the bucket. The painter's bucket's the best with paint still in them. I'm like, that is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So then that's awesome. So then you made the decision to like, let's give it a crack by ourselves. How did you go about landing your first jobs, or how did you go about finding clients?
Oh man, I would do it so differently now. I
Okay.
got Google Ads when I had $3,000 in the bank. Like it was so dumb. So I didn't even think about like BNIs or like pamphlet drops or like reaching out to your existing network or any of that stuff. So I got a nice website built, found this guy for my Google Ads who manages it. He's in the UK. So I started playing around with that, and like I'm sure you know what Google Ads is like. It's so hit and miss. Like half the people that call you are like estimators trying to do your tenders or like apprentices looking for work or whatever. So I did that with like varying success. I got some really good clients out of it. Now it'd be next to impossible because it's like $150 a lead to even get a phone call in Sydney. So at that point, it was about $60 and I had a $60 budget. So as soon as the phone rang, I'm just like, yeah, I'll be there 10 minutes. Like, yeah. And then apart from that, I was like, I started actually, I met a few real estate agents, property managers.
Yeah.
So I got on that. And then the big one for me really early on was Beacon Lighting, like jumping on their preferred electricians list. So I physically just went into into a few different stores, and eventually, yeah, I just jumped on that. And they obviously, I don't know if you know how it works, but they essentially just hand your card out to homeowners. So from there, it was a little bit of a snowball effect, like obviously like up and down for the first couple of years. But when it hit like October, when the ceiling fan started, I was just like so busy. It was amazing. Um, and then after that, so my whole philosophy was just like, as long as the work's there, I'll like work the rest out, like I had no other systems in place or anything. I was like, as long as I can get some work. So yeah, it was beacon lighting, bit of Google ads, getting heaps of Google reviews. And then eventually went into SEO, which we had a lot of success with as well.
Yeah, building your brand up in there. So was there anything harder than you expected in that first sort of period? You sort of said didn't really have any systems or processes in place, which is not obviously the end of the world when it's just you. But was there anything you were sort of like, oh, geez, this is harder than I anticipated?
Yeah, just getting the work in. I was like, just, 1 week, obviously you can be really busy, and then the next you got nothing. You got no database you can reach out to or nothing. So it was, and that would like kind of play on me mentally as well. Like I was always kind of a little bit stressed. Like I still am, but probably. And, like the engine's bigger now, so there's like more work you need. But yeah, just that like ebbs and flows. I'm like, you have a quiet week, and my brain is all of a sudden like, shit, is this even going to work? Like I've no work on all of a sudden. So, and I wasn't even thinking about like the P&L or the revenue or the profit margins or anything at that point. It was just getting work, and the ups and downs of that I found real tricky and like hard to deal with mentally.
Mm. Yeah, because it starts to play a toll. Was there any early mistakes that you had a big lesson from? Like, was there a particular job or like an error that you made somewhere, or something that came about?
So probably taking on work that I shouldn't be doing,
Okay.
like fault finding a strata committee's intercom system with like 30 apartments. Like I've never done that, but they called me, so I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you spend a day there, and like you can't really bill for it because I just had no idea what I was doing. So just picking the wrong jobs, probably just because you're desperate at first, you just kind of take anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sweet. So outside of your wheelhouse that you had no experience in.
Yeah, just try everything, but it like whenever it was anything I wasn't confident with, I was like, as soon as I was halfway through the job, I was just like, I should not be doing this.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
something that you've carried forward now to identify to be like, hey, we don't do that because it's not in our wheelhouse?
100%. Yeah.
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 So got a pretty sort of narrow line of sort of like what the type of work that you're after, and got a clear picture of what we can and can't do.
Yeah, exactly. Because we try to quote everything now, and if you're quoting something you don't really know what you're doing, like that intercom example, it's like, I don't know how long it's going to take.
It's hard to
So
quote with any
we stay in our lane, but we're trying to do a few different things at the moment. But just to keep things interesting for the guys, like keep different types of work coming in, and not just banging in ceiling fans for 3 months of the year, sort of thing. So we are venturing like into like level 2 work now. I've got a couple of the guys trained up in level 2, so doing that, and then we do split systems as well. So a few different service offerings, but nothing that we're not confident with.
No, but you've got the skill set there now with the team. So like it's
Yeah.
not all on you to be like the jack of all trades
Yeah,
of
exactly.
everything.
Yeah.
So when did you sort of start to build some momentum and get people on board with you?
I think it was about 18 months in.
Yeah.
I was doing I've done some coaching with various companies over the years. I think I was in one with you actually many years ago.
Yeah, I think we were. We were, definitely.
But it kind of, once I started doing a little bit of coaching, it started to become much more real that it's possible to build an actual business. Like at first I just wanted to work for myself and keep myself busy and earn a decent amount of money to live. But after I started to understand numbers and how to go about hiring and all that sort of thing, I think about 18 months in, I hired my first tradesman. And then, because I was just, you just get to capacity, then it's like, you're doing the late hours, like everyone says, like, and so I'm like, all right. And there was this, someone said it to me, like, all you do is like transfer all your work onto the next person, and then you get yourself busy again on the tools and do it again. And I'm a pretty simple guy, so that just made a lot of sense to me.
Hmm.
So yeah, 18 months in. Sorry, long answer.
No, that's right. Yeah, sweet. So you basically just you're basically like, hey, here's all my work, and then you start
Yeah.
filling your cup up again. So
Yeah. And we just kept doing that.
yeah, nice. And then, so did you have any sort of, what challenges did you encounter along the way when as you sort of started to put people on, and in a sense of, obviously now you have to manage people, manage the client, and then now manage the business? Sort of, what did you find that came up that sort of, where all the holes did you sort of come across?
Yeah, I think the holes I came across. I think the first hire, I was like, who the hell is going to want to work for me? Like, you know, like it was that mental game of like, I'm not going to be able to find someone who wants to work for me. So that, to start with, like the first hire, I think, apart from putting on an ops manager, that was the hardest one, because I just didn't have the confidence in my business to be like, someone's going to want to come and work for me 40 hours a week. And I feel like it was pretty smooth sailing up until about 6 or 7, like 5-ish tradies and a couple of apprentices. It was just gradual over a couple of years. We just kind of just replayed that, like, once I'm busy again, hire someone, and then, all right, we're doing all that. These tradesmen are getting in the roof and the floor every day. Like, they're not going to want to do that forever. So we need apprentices. So it was pretty smooth. I mean, obviously there was problems with the job cards and things, and then not translating that into a clear invoice. So all the bits and pieces like that. But I think up until 5, probably 6 or 7 was pretty cruisy, really.
Yeah. So just sort of like a bit of a rinse and repeat, keep it simple.
Yeah.
So majority of the type of work that you've been doing, for the initial sort of startup, stage in the first few years, was essentially just keep it simple, service and maintenance style work, replacements, repairs, and fault finding, basically across
100%.
various sectors of the industry to make things easy.
Yeah, and then once we started to get a bit of a database, you can obviously re-engage via email and that sort of thing. So I started to learn the whole emailing and lifetime value of your clients and all that. And if we got a little bit quiet, we could like fire off an email and usually get some jobs out of that. And also I could reach out to new property managers and B2B work as well.
Yeah.
You're right, it's repeat up to a certain point.
Yeah, nice. So did you with the growth, did you come across like any challenges a lot along the way in regards to, say, any cash flow issues, or any the use of like your systems or your processes, or just generally even just getting the staff to a level that you wanted them to be at? Did you come across any difficulties there?
Oh yeah, I've had some bad employees that have come and gone. So definitely some difficult conversations there. So like you hire someone and think they're going to be good, and then all of a sudden one of them's wearing Birkenstocks to work. So I had a
casual Fridays. Didn't you have casual Fridays?
Yeah. On Bondi Road on a commercial job, just put his boots, I put his Birkies on. So that was the final straw with him. But yeah, just like most of the guys that I've hired have been fantastic, and they've made my life pretty easy. Definitely, I mean, you've helped me with this, like the materials on jobs, like buying way too much gear for a job, and then it never goes back to the supplier, and then you wonder where the money is on that job. But in saying that, early on, I had Simpro, but I wasn't really using it properly. So there'd be a million holes that I don't even know about, to be honest.
Yeah.
In jobs. So yeah.
And did you jump onto Simpro pretty early?
Yeah. About I think after 2 billables, we jumped onto that, and it's just the first year for me I found it an absolute nightmare to try and understand how it works. But like everyone says, after a few years, it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah. So it's made a massive difference, and I know yours is humming pretty nicely now.
Yeah.
In the scheme of things, so obviously made a difference. Did you use anything before that? Did you have a job management software or anything, or did you just like Adam's brain and just winged it?
just quoting out of zero, actually,
Nice.
and typing out every single quote. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've written like supply and installation of a double BPO, like type it out every time, like no
Yeah.
templates or anything. Like, yeah,
super time consuming, and you don't realize it at the time how much time you can actually save.
yeah, 100%, man.
When did you sort of realize that the business was just actually working for you?
I think it felt like a real business about 3 years in, where we had, 5 guys driving around. We were making good profits. And I was like, oh, this is fantastic. But I never thought I'd be here, like you kind of, and then you just shift the goalposts and like, what's next sort of thing, and just keep trying to go to the next level. But yeah, I think like three-ish years in, when I felt comfortable, like I wasn't doing massive hours or anything, and we're earning good money. So yeah, about then, yeah.
Felt like you sort of started to get it under control a little bit. So, what, in regards to sort of what you do outside of work, are you pretty, because I know you love your surfing, and I know you like to get away and do a bit of travel and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
How important has that been to you? And did you always place a massive emphasis on outside of work, or did it sort of come along in sort of waves of like, hey, I'm really busy now, so I've got to just hustle and commit to that season, and then I can get back to what I want to do? Or did you sort of always keep it relatively, high on the agenda?
Yeah, no, there was like, I reckon an 18-month period where it was literally me in the office with like 8 guys in the field and a VA. And it was just the worst. Like, I knew I had to get an ops manager like so badly, and I knew I had someone in my team that'd be excellent at it. Shout out Benny. But I didn't want to get him off the tools because he's really, really good. So I was just doing ridiculous hours for like a year and a half, and I just didn't want to pull the trigger because of that huge overhead. So it was like, yeah, probably a year and a half where I was just like battling, hey. Like, it was just too much for one person.
Yes.
And I was just too scared to get another good salary in the office, really.
Yeah.
And then after like 18 months, I was like, fuck, this is just not sustainable at all. I'm like, it got to the point where I'm like, I don't care if I make any money anymore. I just need help, hey. So,
I need to do something different.
Yeah, 100%. And getting him in was just like the best thing I've ever done. Like, he's a weapon at it.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely helped you.
Back to your question, now the traveling and the surfing's much more of a regular thing than it was for that sort of 18-month period.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Do you think you were burnt out after that 18-month period? Like, just cooked?
Yeah, I just fucking hated work, to be honest. At the end of it, I was just like, I just need to do something here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can swear on here, but
yeah, 100% you can. Yeah.
I was just burnt out. Yeah, I was just over it completely. And I was like, am I going to scale back to where we were when I was comfortable, or keep
push
going?
through?
Yeah, and just make those difficult financial decisions. Like, are we going to give this a crack or not? And we did. And yeah, it's been just onwards and upwards, I guess, from there.
Yeah, nice. And then, so outside of it, obviously outside of the business, do you feel like you're now getting to do, I know you've touched on, you do travel and so, do you feel like you've got a bit of like a routine and you're a bit organised with what you do and sort of got some structure to your life as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yes.
so now it's really good. And it's kind of getting to that point again where I feel myself getting like dragged back in, because we're getting obviously a little bit bigger again. And I think I have to make that call again for another overhead in the office. So, but it's exciting, and I'm not doing massive hours. I just do like 40, 45 hours a week, and I like work, so it doesn't bother me. It's just when it becomes too much, I just start to dread it a bit.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as like unsustainable. So what do you reckon now? What sort of keeps you motivated now?
Now we went through a bit of a period where we were just doing really boring work. Like, it was maybe like 3 or 4 months of just like ceiling fans and real basic jobs. And now I'm kind of like, I think it's because of this community that you guys have built, seeing all the really cool projects that are going on. like in the commercial space and like high-end residential stuff. And we've started to shift into that a bit. And like, I just find that really satisfying, like seeing the end product of a really cool project. So we're doing a lot of that now as well, which is great. And that's exciting for me because it's just something different.
Yeah, and then allows a different skill set to either be introduced into the business in regards to staff
Yeah.
and or expose existing staff to a different set of skill sets. So then in turn, it creates it exciting for you, for the team, or like exciting pathways for new people as well.
Yeah, it's really cool. And also just seeing the guys like happy at work. I love that. Like I met one of the younger guys on my team. He became a tradesman about 12 months ago. Like I met him at a new project we're doing and he was just so excited. Like he turned up with the plans, like already highlighted, had all these notes and everything. And he was just like ready to go, just so keen because it was just like a new challenge for him. So just seeing that sort of stuff's cool because he's been with us for like 5.5 years or something. So
yeah. That's exciting. So obviously you've touched on the sort of team that you've built in the culture. I know you've just moved into a new sort of workspace, which is, you know, just not just a warehouse, but a bit of a shed, bit of an office sort of thing. What do you sort of feel like you've put on high on the list as priorities to ensure you have this sort of culture that you've been able to foster and create?
yeah, I think it's just having everyone connected really and like making sure you're getting guys. I've heard a lot of people say it in the past, but hiring for personality is massive. We've seen like a few bad eggs come through and it can really just rattle the whole business. Like if there's guys that aren't pulling their weight. So just hiring the right people, making sure everyone's heard. Like if they've got problems or something going on outside of work, I'd just like take some time off. Just being empathetic towards your staff and just making them feel important because they are, and then making sure they're getting paid well and getting a decent slice of the pie. Like if the business is doing well, like give pay rises where I can. Like I want everybody to win in the company, and I want everyone to feel that
sharing the success of it all.
Yeah, 100%. And like the level 2 thing, like getting the guys that have been around for a while, if they want to upskill into something, I'll fund that. Just basic things like that, and sort of fortnightly catch-ups, barbecues, a couple of beers, just nothing crazy, just the basic stuff. That
bit of consistency though around it all, by the sounds of it. Like
yeah,
sort
just
of
keep everyone connected, really.
Yeah, nice. I like that. And then in regards to the reputation of your business, and obviously ties into the culture around it all, I guess, is there any particular values that you sort of put at the forefront that you communicate with your team that like, hey, this is what AB stands for, in a bit of a, Crowie and I sort of bang on a little bit about it occasionally around like sort of like what are your sort of 10 commandments in a sense of like what you stand for? Are there certain things that you sort of really reinforce with your team pretty consistently?
Yeah, definitely. Like I don't have it written up on the wall or anything, but like it's just doing the basics. We need excellent communication because we're going into people's homes, generally really nice homes as well. So just being respectful in people's homes. I guess these aren't values, but I feel like it's really important to build rapport with people as well.
Yeah.
Make them feel comfortable when you're in their home. And then just basic things like just cleaning up after yourself. If you're running late, call them. Nothing crazy. like I've kind of tried having all of these expectations in the past with staff, and I feel like they only have the bandwidth for so much,
Yes.
Like, like I just don't, it's not too rigid at all. Just the basic things that will keep a customer happy, we need to be doing.
Yeah. It's really interesting that, because we've talked about it a little bit previously. Crow and I have talked about it a little bit. It's that I think sometimes as Sparkies, so you and I, we're qualified Sparkies, that we sort of are like, well, like I'm a better Sparky than you, or you're a better Sparky than me. The reality is that we can both fit off a PowerPoint. We can both install light fitting, change the lights. It's going to work, sort of thing. So I think a lot of the focus is too much on like I'm a better electrician, rather than the focus needs to be on, hey, we just do the really simple things really well. So like, for example, if you go and install a PowerPoint, the bare minimum expectation of the customer is that the PowerPoint works and it's installed to AS3000 standards. It works, it's level and it's in the location that they are. So like, let's just say that's not a like, oh geez, I hope this happens. That's like the expectation, like the minimum, like minimum standard. It's all the other things that actually make the big difference. It's like, hey, did you communicate with them? Did you clean up after yourself? It's like I think it's the things a lot of people don't focus on that actually is the difference between a lot of businesses.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like that is a lot of the times where the emphasis needs to be, not whether like, oh, I can install that length of conduit in 3.5 minutes versus you can do it in 4.5 minutes. Like, speed obviously helps, or like the neatness and on, certain things. But the reality around it all is like, did you call them before you came? Was the price communicated? Was the time frame communicated? Hey, we're going to be here this time. Did you put a drop sheet down on their $20,000 flooring or whatever it is? And so I think a lot of those things often get overlooked for the fact that, hey, I can do that PowerPoint better than you, when it doesn't really come into the account when you're looking at it on a consumer point of view. So the customer's like, I need a new PowerPoint. Okay, cool. Like bringing an electrician, it's going to actually, they're qualified and capable of doing it.
Yeah, 100%. And like, don't install it at 500 mil above the floor if the rest are at 300 mil above the floor.
Yeah, like take a little bit of liberty to observe. Like, hey, like we're not robotic, so I think that's super important around that. So so let's just sort of elaborate a little bit. What sort of works are you doing now? I know we touched on it a little bit. Obviously, there's still your service and maintenance style work, and then you're sort of starting to look into the project space a little bit as well, and a bit of diversification, because we have talked about this previously, just you and I, in a private sort of setting. So that's a goal for you in the business, obviously, to diversify a little bit more and get a bit of growth.
Yeah, 100%, because I feel like there's a lot of guys in probably the coaching space or just other people who just shit on builders. And I didn't buy into it, but I kind of listened to that narrative for a while. And I was like, oh God, it just sounds like a nightmare. Like they don't pay, blah, blah, blah. But then hearing you guys talk about, like, you've obviously got a very successful business, mainly in the project space. I'm like, this can't be right. And like, just listening to you guys talk about how it can work. And I've always wanted to do it, but I've steered away from it for that reason. Like you hear all these like really bad stories, but we are moving into that now. We've got some really great builders who are excellent to deal with. I think if you have those guys on your side, like you can't go too far wrong with it. I think the bottleneck for me was I didn't know how to like. I get plans. I'm like, what am I looking at? Like, it wasn't in my world that I did my apprenticeship with or anything. Like, no one's teaching me how to use ground plan at TAFE or like, So I did a couple, and like, like the first commercial one I did, I completely butchered. Like I missed like 40 meters of LED strip. Like, I'm like, fuck, like I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
I was a bit scared as well to go into it for that reason. Like it was just my skill set was the bottleneck there and why we couldn't do it. But now it's just about me educating myself really and learning actually learning that skill of tendering. And now I feel very comfortable going into these larger projects. Well, larger for us. They're not huge by any means, but some little new builds and commercial projects. And I'm really enjoying that at the moment.
Yeah,
I think it's also when you're just doing service and maintenance. I've spoken about this with you before, but it's just like 1 or 2 weeks booked out. It's just perpetually stressful because like if you don't win a couple of quotes, you got 12 people that need to be busy. And like if it's just service and maintenance, it's just not a good place to be in, I feel.
Yeah, because you've been able to create sort of 2 gears to it all. So you've been able to get the guys in advance. So hey, we can schedule these people out for the next couple of months, so to speak, on various bits and pieces, and then in turn we can revert back here to, hey, filling them in with our long-term
Mm.
like service clients, and then also to your short term, like not I don't call them like your one offs, but your sporadic sort of, hey, I just need one or two things done here or there.
Yeah, and we were doing that for like a year with no projects on, and it was just I was always just having to like manically like follow up quotes and like just trying to keep everyone busy. And now I don't have to do that at all because we have some nice projects in the pipeline, so I can kind of just chill a bit more as well. So there's
Mm.
that. Plus the boys, I didn't think they would, but they love projects, and like a few of the newer guys have a background in that, so they just thrive in that space as well. So we have the guys for it too.
Yeah, nice. So you got the capacity for it as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
which is cool. So obviously touched on early that you love the industry and love being a Sparky, which is sort of similar to me. It's interesting. I've spoken to a lot of Sparkies in my time, and they genuinely don't like it, don't like the job. Which I'm like, well, go get another one.
Yeah.
Like, I can't because there's no other jobs out there. But yeah, it's interesting, which I resonate with a lot. What do you like? What's changed, or what do you feel like has changed in the industry since you started? Because it's been nearly 20 years now in the industry, so to speak.
Oh,
So,
yeah, it has,
um,
hasn't it?
yeah,
Oh, well, when we started, like with that guy I was working with, it was all on paper. Like it
yeah,
was paper invoices, paper quoting. And I love the whole tech side of it as well, like CRMs and job management systems. I love integrating all that stuff together. I think that's probably one of my strengths as well. So definitely like the tech side of it's massive. And there's all the obvious things like EV and like the phasing gas out. So all those sorts of jobs coming along. But yeah, I think for me mainly it's been just exciting seeing all the tech emerging and seeing what you can do with that, making just life so much easier.
yeah. What do you think other business owners should sort of keep an eye on in that particular space to make their life easier? What sort of tips or sort of things that have you picked up?
Well, I know a lot of guys who have been in business that still don't have a job management system. They've been in business for many, many years, and I just don't even know how they operate.
Mm.
Um, so that I'd say is the obvious one, right? And then things like I think for me, a real thing that's helped us to grow is just learning about marketing and different ways to market to your existing client base. That's given us so much growth. Just like text message marketing, email marketing, that's been a huge driver of growth for us. And I think that's really what, if you're not doing any of that and you're quiet, it's just like such a lost opportunity. Like,
Yeah.
especially if you have a database of 5,000 people and you don't have any work on. Like, I kind of know a lot of guys who just don't know what to do. So I think learning some basic lead generation marketing stuff is pretty key there.
Yeah, well, because I mean, the thing is so like 5,000 people, 10% of that obviously is 500 people. And then if you only, you know, actively pick up off 10% of them, that's still 50 people that you've picked up. So like,
Okay.
it's like it becomes, I think it's like anything in the industry as a whole. It becomes that there's numbers associated with everything, and it is a real numbers game. So
Yeah.
it just becomes down. It just comes down to at some point there's going to be a certain percentage of people who require your services in that instance, and
Yeah.
then it's also like the numbers game around understanding where your jobs are at, how they're performing, what's happening, and knowing your numbers. It's really funny that a lot of it comes down to just understanding and knowing your numbers across the whole board, like
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it sits at.
100%. And I'm still learning that stuff. Like I thought I knew my numbers pretty well until I saw your spreadsheets and Sparky.
We're
Oh, my,
drilling down on that, which has been really helpful. Like, I think one thing, like, and like, I'm not speaking out of school here by any stretch of the imagination, is that it really, I think the immediate impact or immediate thing we picked up with yourself was that there were certain types of jobs that just weren't hitting the percentage that satisfied you as
yeah.
being a business owner, and you were able to immediately just make the tweak on it
Yeah.
in the costing sense, and particularly in that service and maintenance space that you operate in. A lot of it is like as you said, 98.3% of it is quoted work as it
Mm.
is. So he
Yeah.
was able to just, let's adjust that pre-build. Hey, sweet, we're moving forward.
Yeah.
And we can do that. And if we don't win it, you're now comfortable at it to be like, well, I'm not going to do that work just to fill up a half a cup.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think even till recently, I was like, I'd kind of question, like, you don't win a few jobs in a row, and I'd like, oh God, are we too expensive? Like, but then once you do know your numbers like really, really well, it's like you never have that doubt ever again. It's just like it is what it is. You didn't win the
It is
job.
what it is.
Keep
Yes.
it.
Is
Yeah.
any piece of advice for anyone who is looking to, I guess, they've already got their business going, but they're, looking at getting their first hire on, for example, because that's sort of a stage where you were probably a little bit apprehensive in. Is there any advice that you would offer someone who's going about that?
I would definitely say hire a tradesman first, without a
Yeah.
doubt. That's the no-brainer, really, once you've done it. Like, I mean, I think an apprentice would just if you're already time poor, you're going to be even more time poor, really, if you go for an apprentice. So I think it's pretty important for your first hire to be to be a qualified tradesman. And I'd also have a basic understanding of your numbers as well, just so you know you can afford it and confidently hire. Because when I hired my first tradesman, I didn't know if I could afford it at all. I just kind of winged it, and like I knew I had the work. I knew I had the work there, but that's all I knew. So if you can go in confidently because you know you have the money there, you know you're charging enough, you know your overheads and all that sort of thing, you'll be so much more confident, because the first hire is bloody stressful.
Yeah. It's a mixed, it's a whole melting pot of emotions. There's like apprehension associated with it. There's the nervousness, there's stress associated with it. Then there's the
Yeah.
financial side of it all. It really is like a ton of moving parts on it all. So what are you most proud of so far with, your AB electrical and sort of like the journey you've been on so far?
I think just the team we've got, man. They're such legends, hey. Like, just they're all the best dudes, and they just like coming to work, as far as I can tell. Like, you
Yeah.
can just such a good group of people who all kind of get along and work hard. And then just, I guess, the brand that we've built in the local community as well. We have like a really, really strong reputation around.
Yeah.
And I'd say like 75% of our work is repeat customers, which I kind of track that metric very, very closely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really proud of, and I'm glad we've been able to sustain that, even with the growth that we've had. Like, that you think maybe the standard could drop here and there, but I mean, most guys have just come in and I think we've just set the expectations. Not too many expectations, but as we said, just like the simple things, and they just come in and execute, and we've been able to maintain that reputation.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
What do you sort of see for AB in the next 5 years? What are you sort of looking to, hopefully achieve?
I would like to have another operations manager and an estimator, and have kind of have separate departments for the projects and the service space.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at solar and batteries now as well. I've got a couple of guys who are really keen to do it in the team. So, I mean, I have all these ideas, and then like I used to just try and execute on the ideas. Then like 3 weeks later, I'm like, that's a shit idea. So I'm sitting on this one for a little while before I do anything with it. But
Yeah.
I'm like excited for that. Like, I reckon this, like, the solar and battery space isn't going anywhere.
No, certainly not. And I mean, obviously, like anything, when a space is created or a sector is created, at a bare minimum, it needs to be maintained.
Yeah,
As well.
exactly.
So there's a massive opportunity in there, not only just in the new installation space, but it's the maintenance space and upkeep of it all, because more so than ever, there's more moving parts in it.
Yeah, I reckon we give away like maybe 3 leads a week at the moment to another solar guy.
Yep.
So it just seems pretty stupid, really, at this point.
Yeah.
When we could be doing it. Do you do solar?
We don't do. Well, yes, we do, but we only do it on our new stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So we sort of, so it's very much under the radar. Like
Okay.
keep it under wraps. We don't advertise it. We don't talk about it or anything like that. It's just purely an offering to our in our project space.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
And that,
So I think I'll go down that route, but I've had some worse. Had some pretty bad ideas over the years, and I've just kind of got to sit on it for another couple of weeks, I reckon, before I start going down that route.
sit over it and mull it
No,
land.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's exciting. So, mate, that's been really, I guess, inspiring first and foremost, to listen to your journey so far. So I really thank you for coming along and joining me in the Lounge Pod. Wish you all the best, obviously, for future endeavors and whatever, if you do go down the solar space or whatever division idea you think of next, hopefully you can pull it off, and I've got no doubt that you can. So, mate, thanks for sharing. Been really open and been really cool, man. And I'm really excited to see what happens for you next. So appreciate your time today, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Hopefully I didn't speak out of school and have any haters on the internet coming from. We'll soon find out, I suppose.
Nah, it'll be all okay, mate. It's been very good, mate. Well, so thanks for that, mate. And enjoy. Talk soon, hey?
Thanks, mate. See ya.
That's a wrap on another podcast. Whatever you're doing, don't be too busy to stop and check if you're making money. And above all else, you know the rules. Be kind. See you soon.